Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And I'm so honored to have my guest, Mariah, with me today. We met through this really amazing network through Maria Went's program, and I'm just blown away, sorry, by the amazing women I've been able to meet. So Mariah is just an amazing copywriter, and she's been growing like crazy for female entrepreneurs. So Mariah, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm definitely really happy to be here.
Yay. Well, I would love for you to kind of walk me through a little bit about your journey and kind of how you came to where you are today.
Okay, that's actually a very, very long story, but I'll try to give you the short, abbreviated version.
Sure.
If you follow me on my Facebook profile, I definitely get into a lot of the other details, but long story short, I wasn't able to go to college after high school like I had originally wanted. Life happens sometimes, and that threw a monkey wrench into some of my plans. And when I was around 23, 24 years old, I was working as a housekeeper and I had done some work as a daycare worker to try to make some money, make some income. But I was extremely, extremely unhappy with myself. I give major credit to women who can do work they hate for a paycheck because I was not one of them. I was not strong enough to do that by any means. And I was trying to think, okay, what can I do to work from home since I also have very severe social anxiety? That's something
Hmm.
else I'm always trying to work to overcome every day. So, what can I do from home, work from home, that doesn't require a college degree? Since that was a major obstacle as well, the fact that nobody really wanted to hire someone that didn't have a proper education and all that. So, I fell down the Google rabbit hole. I've looked up all these types of ideas to see what other women out there were doing to get by. And at first, I fell onto proofreading and copy editing. So I tested the waters a bit and I got started in that. That was my Kickstarter into my online business. And a couple years doing that, my clients then were telling me, hey, how about you try copywriting? Because it seems like with our papers and everything that you're editing, it seems like you're basically rewriting everything as opposed to just editing it. I'm like, well, that's because it can be written so much better. I didn't actually say that, but that's what I was thinking. But once they told me that, I figured, hey, I always loved writing since, at the risk of sounding cheesy, since I was a little girl, I always loved writing. I originally wanted to be a writer when I was a teenager, but I let my insecurities hold me back from pursuing that. So fast forward today at 27, and now I am working full time as a copywriter for women entrepreneurs.
Wow, that's awesome. And that's super because I love writing too. And I know exactly what you're talking about, like when you go to edit things and then you just kind of want to change like the entire structure and then you give it to someone
Yes,
and they're like, this isn't anything of my own. I'm like, well, this might be
it's
more
better.
else. It's just like you asked me to change a few things, I thought. I know exactly what you're saying, and that's so funny
Mhm.
to kind of like back and I can definitely understand. So is there anything that, kind of looking back at your journey, and you and I had kind of talked a little bit about like how
Mhm.
like the decisions that we make at any stage in life really has that domino effect. And, you believe you were telling me that like you really are in charge of your own destiny, which I think is so true and so powerful because sometimes it's
Mhm.
easy to just leave it up and be like, oh, it'll just happen. Things will just happen. It's like, no, we
Mhm.
we kind of have to do the things too. But kind of looking back, is there anything that you would love to say to either kind of your 17-year-old self in the past, or maybe kind of 17-year olds kind of going into the future?
Well, I know one thing that I would definitely tell my 17-year-old self for sure, and this is something that I've always regretted even today. The reason I didn't pursue writing professionally after high school, like that was my original dream. I really wanted to get into professional writing. Like I said, as a kid, I always loved books. I loved creative writing. It was the one class that I always got an A in. I always barely got by in math, science, history, etc. But writing was always my thing. I loved it. But when I expressed to other people that I really wanted to get into writing after high school, make that my career, I was told that writing isn't a real job and to look at something more realistic for myself. And stupid, naive 17-year-old me let her dreams get totally crushed like a wet graham cracker. And I just gave up on it. Like I cringe thinking about it, nowadays, that I was so easy to let go of my dreams back then. And because especially considering that 10 years later, look at me now, I'm officially a professional writer getting paid much better paychecks than I did as a housekeeper for sure. So one thing I would definitely tell my 17-year-old self was, please do not let that negativity or other people crush your hopes and dreams. Go for it. Because one thing I hate thinking about was all of this could have happened at a much earlier stage in my life. Like I could have spent the first half of my 20s pursuing copywriting, pursuing professional writing like I had originally wanted to, instead of housekeeping, cleaning up the weird black goo at the back of a 7-year-old's dresser, which I still don't know what that was, cleaning up the little presents from the house cat on the stairwell or whatever. I could have been writing and doing something I actually really love doing, instead of all that. So I would definitely, without a doubt, tell my younger self, please do not let that negativity hold you back, and go for your writing dreams like you originally wanted to. It will be worth it down the road. It will be a rocky journey. You'll definitely make mistakes, trial and error. You have crying episodes for sure because of how hard it is, but it will be worth it in the long run.
Wow. I don't know if I can get over the fact that someone told you that writing isn't a real job. I don't
Yes.
think that's like if you look at how many books are behind me, I feel like there are a few jobs in writing.
Yes.
That's like I'm sorry, that's like the most like blasphemous thing I've ever heard. It's like insane to me.
Yes, I know it.
But,
I know.
but yeah, I think that's a really great like thing for people to take away is that it's so easy for fear to hold you back because I mean, we live in a world with other people and we always strive for their approval or their attention. And like, I know about me, like, I have a pretty, sometimes can be really fragile, like, especially about like my writing too. I get so
Mm-hmm.
scared when showing it to other people because if they like point out so much as a grammar mistake, I like snowball into like a
Yes,
corner and I
that's
like
me.
cry.
I have been there. Guilty. Guilty.
Yeah, but I think that's really amazing because now you found yourself writing, but you enjoy it so much more. You're making so much more money, and it's like it is something that you're really passionate about. And I think that's really great advice. It's like, okay, just because a few people, I mean, hearing
Yeah.
advice that writing isn't a real job, I feel like people should be like, wow, I
Yeah.
really shouldn't
And,
listen to other people.
yeah, and I'm not saying don't be don't be realistic. That's not what I'm saying.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if there's actual proof that other people out there are making what you want to do work,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not going to be easy. Let's face it, in the real world, it's never going to be easy. But if there's
No.
proof that if you put in the consistent work, the effort, if you're willing to study however you can, because it's 2023 now, there are so many other ways of getting an education. There's, college, of course, but there's also online courses, which I absolutely love doing. And I always have it do courses that are by my mentors, people that are in my similar niche that are, I can admit, are way better at this than me. I can admit it because they've been at it for like 10, 20 years, but they offer so much advice, so much wisdom based on their experience at doing this for a couple decades now, so just have a game plan. If there's proof that your dream can actually happen because it's happened for all these other people, why not you? Just be willing to put in the consistent work, the effort, understand that sometimes it does take years for success to happen because I've been at this for around 3 or 4 years now, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only recently that I hit my first 2K month,
Right.
because of Honey Shir Sarsaba. I want to give a shout out to her. She's the lead gen queen. I absolutely love her, you know, but she has definitely made, really changed my business entirely. I absolutely love her work. So as long as you're willing to network, connect, put in the work and effort, it can happen.
Yeah. And I think what you had mentioned was really important is that having that drive and having that actual love for what you do makes all the difference. Like that's why you
Mm-hmm.
love writing and you like copywriting. So it
Mm-hmm.
makes sense that you would spend 3 to 4 years without making like maybe like big, big money or whatever how you
And
want to
there's
put
like
that.
thousands upon thousands of other super talented women out there. Like I said, I
Yeah.
can admit that there are many women out there that are much more talented at this than me. I can admit it,
Right.
that there are so many talented women out there. So in a way, you're kind of competing with them as well. But so which is why it can take a while for success to happen. But once you get a consistency going, it'll be worth it.
Yeah. Well, I think that is really, really important. What you had mentioned, like not giving in to those like that negativity, unwarranted, I feel like
Hmm.
unfounded or negativity,
Yes.
like they're just kind of saying stuff and being able to differentiate, like, oh, okay, they're not giving me real advice that I should follow. They're just saying that because they want to say that. And
Hmm.
also what you had mentioned, just pushing through that. I think those are really amazing pieces of advice that anyone at any stage in their life can definitely take away from. So, Mariah, thank you so much for the time today. This has been just an absolute pleasure.
So thank you very much for having me. I definitely have enjoyed talking with you.
Thank you. And Mariah, if they want to find out more a little bit about, your copywriting services or a little bit more about you, what's the best way they can find out more?
Well, my official website is spilltheteacopy.com, and you can also have a chat with me on my Facebook profile. I am very active on there, and I'm currently offering sales and web copy packages. So if anybody wants to take a look at that, feel free to, but you can also always send me a message on my Facebook profile. I am always open for a chat.
Perfect. Well, I'll make sure to put the link to her website and her Facebook in the description, so it's a little easier for people to click. And thank you guys so much for listening. And Ryan, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.